Hello, welcome to the Real Estate Regroup Show. I am your host, LJ Walker, a real estate investor helping you realize your dream of owning a home or investing in one. Today's show, I'm going to be speaking about buying land. Me personally, I have not bought land outright. I've bought property on it, and I was thinking about actually building more houses onto it. But when I factored in the cost of doing so, I realized that there really wouldn't be much of a profit. Like, I would have to hold on to that for a very, very long time in order to see any benefits. In addition to that, the process of building property on land is really not that simple. In addition to building property, I would have to have the land resurveyed and reworked. So I decided, for my own personal situation, not to go ahead with the process. But I do want to just speak real briefly to many of you who are interested in buying land and you just overheard someone say, "Oh, go and buy land. It's profitable." Well, let me tell you this. From my knowledge of what I know about buying land is you really should have a plan before you go ahead and buy it. Don't just listen to a YouTube video and think that's the end all to be all. Go and get yourself the proper training that you need off of the internet before proceeding. See, land is taxed a lot higher than when there's actually a house or a structure on that land. It's a lot easier to convert land into, let's say, a parking lot or a trailer park than to actually build a house on it. The other thing is that what some people do is they'll flip land, meaning they'll go to the auction and buy land, and then they'll look for a developer and sell that land to a developer. Or they'll team up with the developer to actually build property on that particular land. What you should do, of course, is get the dimensions of that land, the length, the width, etc. Because a lot of times developers, they're looking for a certain amount of land. There are some that will not build on just about anything. Land to support a home, and some want it to support an apartment building. You may even try to connect with a nonprofit company that may already be working with a developer or know a developer then that can help them expand. They may want new offices developed, or they may also want to build property, because you do have organizations out here that want to house people, for example, who are being abused, battered women, battered men. A few of them are popping up, but from what I understand, there's still a shortage. We still have homeless population in many of our cities across the United States of America as well. So that's why I say study to show yourself approved, if you will, but not just study. You want to network as well to see, okay, if I'm going to flip this, this is who I'm going to sell it to. And also, if I'm going to go out and buy it, I know what it is that that particular developer is looking for. Please also note that there's certain land that can't be built on at all. So when you go to these auctions, go and do your research on that land before you start bidding on it. In my mastermind group, there was a realtor who wanted to buy some land, but several acres of that land can't be built on, can't build on it. And he was also told that he can't grow anything because the land is not of good quality. Well, that part at the end about it not being good quality, I'll be honest with you, that's debatable. The reason why I say that's debatable, because in the Bronx, one of the main reasons why for many years it wasn't built up is because, being that so many buildings were burnt down, people were like, oh, it's bad land, we can't do anything with it. But then people from the South and people from the West Indies started cultivating the soil, fixing the land, and now all of a sudden you look and the Bronx is being gentrified. All of a sudden, all these developers that weren't interested are now interested in developing property, building property up in the Bronx. So that's why I say that whole thing about the land not being of quality is debatable. But I will tell you this: to cultivate soil, to bring land up to a certain degree, it does take years. It's not something that can be done overnight. It can take 5, 10, 20 years. You know, maybe there is a faster way that I'm not familiar with, but as someone who knows just a little bit about gardening, a little bit about the soil, I would say, again, do your research before you just hop on the bandwagon that where everybody is saying, oh, buy land, buy land, buy land. I'm not saying don't buy it. I'm just saying don't just solely depend on what you're hearing on YouTube or what you do when you do your searches online. Get a good course that teaches you what to do with land. Okay, folks, well, that's all I have for you tonight. I have shared with you will help you to make smart financial moves. Feel free to pass this along. Remember, each one, reach one, teach one. Bye for now. Until next time, have a good night.